Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm so excited to be with you here today. I have exciting news to share, and then I want to play like a little thought game with you, a little thought experiment. So, a couple of things. First of all, May Mindset Makeover Bingo is over with. So that concluded. If you are playing May Mindset Bingo and you are not in my Mindful Dating group and you want to know who the winners are, please reach out to me by private message. I will be happy to share it with you. I can tell you that everybody that won is in the Mindful Dating Women's group on Facebook. So that information is there. That's the first thing. Second thing, coming up on Monday, I have my 21-day mid-year mindset makeover. So it's the whole month of June. It's a 21-day program. It's a super fun one. The workbook comes out in daily installments and emails. They're uplifting with little tiny exercises to bring you forward just a little bit every day on your goals. And then we have 4 live coaching group sessions on the Mondays. And I have a lovely group of women that are doing this. So if this is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me and I will send you the link so that you can get signed up. It is going to be really special and wonderful. I did this in January and I thought that I would only do it in January, but I loved it so much. I decided to add one more go round. So there's that. And I have a couple of other specials that I'm going to tell you about in just a minute, because Bechira Coaching is 2 years old today. I saw my very first client with Bechira Coaching 2 years ago today, and it's really exciting to me just to notice and to acknowledge and appreciate that it's been 2 years already that I've had my business. I'm really excited about it. This whole idea of coaching and being a coach was something that first came up to me in 2005. I dabbled, didn't have business skills, but I had an abundance of pride that kept me from asking for help. So that didn't go very well. And then was researching becoming a coach again from about 2017 or 2018. And finally in 2021 took the leap. So this is really exciting for me that I'm in business for 2 years. So yay. And I'll tell you what those specials are in just a minute. If you're super excited to find out and you want to know right away, you can just try to hop onto my newsletter list. And if you're already on it, it's in your inbox. Okay. So today I wanted to play a little thought experiment with you about what would change if you approach dating and relationships the same way you do your career, or vice versa, if you approached your career the same way you approach dating and relationships. And I'm thinking about this because I think I'm not alone in this. A lot of women who are professional, educated, successful in their careers put a lot of energy into that. We function really well there. And then when it comes to our personal relationships, we haven't valued it as much. We haven't worked on it as much. And we've been sort of maybe reverse culturally conditioned to think that career success is the thing for a variety of reasons. Like I was totally raised by my mom owned a business growing up. She was more or less a single mom. I was raised with a woman being the head of the household, being the breadwinner. This was the model I had, as a woman totally financially independent. And my mom was really not that great at interpersonal relationships. So really failing at marriage repeatedly. And that was the model I saw. So I really had it in my head as well that I had to have career success. And when it came to that, I've put a lot of energy into career success. I went to school. I did lots of reading. I did my homework. I passed the tests. I spent the hours. So lots of hours, not just on the reading, not just on the studying, on the homework, on the tests, but actually devoted hours to practice, hours in hospitals for my 3rd and 4th years of medical school, hours in the hospital as a resident, spending time with clients, just really devoted to that, always going to conferences so that I can keep up on the latest information, know what's going on in my field, be as much on the top of my game as I possibly can. When I decided I wanted to make career changes, I had this plan. This is how I approached it. I would decide what I want. I would make a plan to get what I want. I would execute the plan, and then I would achieve success. That was my 4-step process every time. When I was done with one job, ready to move on to the next, I decided it was time to move on, decided where it was I wanted to work next, made a plan for how I was going to get that job, executed the plan, got the job. repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. When I decided I wanted to go to seminary, decided this is what I want, made a plan. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to explore these schools. I'm going to apply to these schools. I executed the plan. I got into seminary. It's the same thing every time. And I started to think, like, if I realistically, how did I approach relationships? I avoided them. If it failed, I didn't try again for a year. So if I had approached my career the same way I approached relationships, what I would have done is apply to one school. And if it didn't go perfectly well, or there was something I didn't like about it, I would wait another year or two, and then I would apply to a second school. And I'd kind of half-ass it. I wouldn't really decide what I wanted. I would just like apply randomly to some whatever major. And maybe I would just say, oh, hey, do you have an opening? Are you available for me? I'm just not really sure yet. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, but I'm going to, I'll start this class and I'll know it. I'll know when I get in class, whether this is what I want to major in or not. And that would have been a huge waste of time. Nobody would have anything to do with me. No employer would ever have hired me. Like, what are your qualifications? I don't know. I'm not really sure what I want. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, I don't know, but not here. Those are things you just don't say going into a job interview. So if I had handled my career like I handled my relationships, it would have been a disaster. I would be like nowhere. I would not have a home. I would not have food, because I didn't really have a structure or a strategy when it came to relationships. And in 2019, as a lot of you know, I was really committed to being single for 16 years. I had a horrible marriage, horrible divorce involving somebody with sort of narcissistic-y type tendencies. And I didn't ever want to get married. I didn't want to have marriage like that. And I didn't want a divorce like that ever again. I thought I would never, I barely succeeded the first time in getting out of it. I barely survived that. I didn't want to take another chance on it. So I was super committed to staying single and very much half-assing the dating scene. And you would say, well, if you're so committed to being single, why are you dating? And that's an excellent question, because I run into a lot of people who say, I don't care about relationships. I don't really want a relationship. I don't want to get married. And they're dating anyway. So if you're asking this question about me, it's something really worth pondering inside yourself. And then this other thing that would happen is that I would make friends with people. And I would say, well, I want to start out as friends and then, see if it grows into something more. I would make friends with people and it would get really messy, because you start out as friends and actually you don't want friends. What you really want is a partner, but you don't want to admit that you want a partner, so that you are then trying to make a friendship more than it's supposed to be. And that can happen too. And if you are also queer like me, then you have probably also had the thing where you had a crush out on your straight friends. And all of these are just like super messy things that you do when you're not clear about what you want. And then in 2018, I saw Schitt's Creek, and it was the argument scene where David and Patrick get in this huge argument, and they just argue from such a place of vulnerability and love. And I realized in that episode that they had what I wanted, and that I was so good at keeping it away from myself that I was never going to get there unless I hired a coach. And I hired a coach, and wouldn't you know it, all she did was like this basic coaching package that I had learned when I took my first like intro to coaching class in 2005. She did that, applied to dating. And I thought, well, holy cow, I had all this skill to begin with. Why didn't I just do this? Why was this so hard for me? And in fact, I have a few other skills that she doesn't have that I'd love to teach. And I'm actually using them myself. And I can see that other people in the room would benefit from these. And during that time, and a little bit before I met Matt, I was telling my son-in-law, hey, did you know I'm going to be meeting my partner. I'm going to be getting married in about a year and a half. And he said, how do you know that? I said, well, because I've decided that's what I want. And he said, well, how are you going to make it happen? I'm like, the same way I make everything happen, Dan. I decide what I want. I make a plan. I execute the plan. I achieve success. And it wasn't until I started dating and approaching relationships with the same determination that I started having success. And I see this happening for my clients as well. And it's a really weird thing. It's almost like magic, because not only did I decide I want a partner, I decided it wasn't just any partner. I wanted a partner who enhances my life. I was a really pretty happy single person. So this was a high bar. I have to be happier in a relationship with you than I am on my own. And I'm pretty happy on my own. So it's going to have to be a really kick-ass relationship. And my clients, very early on when they get out in the dating world and they start dating, they notice they are attracting better potential partners than they did before they did the 12-week mindful dating intensive. They notice that they don't get as reactive if it doesn't work for them with somebody. They don't get their feathers ruffled. It doesn't, like it used to, for me, if I had a bad date, and I can still remember the last time this happened, I had a terrible date, didn't date again for another 14 months, would not go on another date. Because it just upset me so much and it got me down. I thought I was never going to find someone, blah, 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 all the negative self-talk. And this same thing happens to a lot of my clients. They get so disappointed by a bad date that they give up. It brings them down, makes them depressed. But after they do the 12-week mindful dating intensive, they're super resilient. It's okay if a date doesn't go very well. They know that it's going to take a while. They're really focused on the plan. They're focused on executing the plan. They're focused on achieving the success. They know what it is they're looking for. They know it's not an off the rack item and they're going to have to put some effort into it, and they're willing to put that effort in. They don't just half-ass it or be lackadaisical anymore. They take it really seriously. And at the same time that they're taking it seriously, weirdly, they don't take it personally. And there's a difference. Take it seriously. They really are committed to their goal. They're not going to give up on it. And because the health of their relationship, because their happiness and the true partnership, the genuine I have their back, they have my back thing is important to them. And they're taking that seriously. They don't compromise their standards. They don't date losers, addicts, narcissists, cheaters. They date really solid people who care about them. And they're really good at knowing who's really solid and who's a good partner. So if you are in this moment, or if you were like me in that you felt that career or professional success was so much more a given, like I thought, I'm smart, I can figure out professional success, but I can't control relationships. So I can't even really worry about that. If you thought that, I want to tell you that actually you can learn a lot about relationships so that you can have that same determination when it comes to relationships. And I can tell you some tricks to have a more successful outcome. But the first thing is that you have to be willing to do some of the things you did with your career. You have to be willing to accept, in a sort of humble way, that there are things you don't know that you need to learn. Just like you had to accept when you wanted career advancement that you needed professional development, you needed school, you needed training, you had to do some research, you had to do some reading, studying, and learning, maybe find a mentor to teach you how to do these things. You had to practice at it. You had to be committed. You had to put the time in, and you had to be persistent. So if you are struggling in dating and you have it kind of more or less, you're doing it career-wise and you're pretty happy with where you are in your job, you already have what it takes to achieve success in your love life. You can have a happy relationship. You just have to apply those same strengths in a different way. And I am super happy to help you do that. That is what I do for a living inside my mindful dating intensive. It's very intensive, like relationship boot camp. And people come out of there like completely changed in terms of feeling empowered, feeling confident, feeling persistent, and feeling optimistic about things. So I would love to see you achieve that. And I want to know if this resonates with you. I want to know if you can kind of relate to having success in career and not in relationships, or feeling like career is controllable, relationships are a wild card. So F relationships, I'm not doing that, because that's where I started. And I'm curious if you can relate to where I was before I did dating coaching and where some of my clients start. So now for the fun stuff, I want to talk a little bit about the specials that I have to celebrate Bechira Coaching turning 2. I saw my very first client on June 1st of 2021. So 2 years old today. That was when I saw my first client. I put the call out or put the word out on Facebook a little bit before, but this was the day I took my first paying client. So I'm going to celebrate this as my anniversary day. For the entire month of June, I have 2 specials for you to know about. One is if you're thinking about the Mindful Dating Intensive and you bring a friend along, the 2 of you can join for the price of 1. You both do have to go through your breakthrough session with me. It's a free session. I can pop the link in the comments when I'm done here. Please book that. get in. Let's get your breakthrough session. Make sure this is a good fit and this is what you want to do. But you and a friend pay one fee and both of you get in. That's the first special. And the second one, it's been a while since I've opened up any private coaching spots, but I am opening up 6 private coaching spots because along with having my second anniversary, by the end of August, I will also be level 1 trained in IFS. I'm in the process of training. That is a really intense endeavor. It's a full week in April, June, and August with one day, which was earlier today, in between the April and June, and another day between the June and August. So it's a really intensive training. And I am considering going for certification as a level 1 practitioner, and I would like to have the hours in. So I'm opening up 6 individual client seats so that I would be able to get those hours. And I'm offering this kind of discount that if you are willing to commit for a year and prepay, I will take off 2 months off of the bill. So that's the deal for individual or private coaching. So that's what I have to celebrate my anniversary and pass some savings on to you. And I love giving things away. Again, if you missed the first part of this, the May Mindset Makeover Bingo ended and my giveaways are posted in the Mindful Dating Women's group. And I'm really excited about that. I hand knit a scarf and I'm really thrilled about being able to share that with someone. So there's that. And then the other thing to sort of close the loop where I started is that starting on Monday, I have the Mid-Year Mindset Makeover, which is a 21-day short program. You get a workbook in the form of daily emails with little inspirational messages and a little exercise. We get 4 live group coaching calls throughout the course of that 21 days. And daily interaction on Facebook. So there's a lot of interaction on Facebook and access to me on Messenger. And if you purchase that program, every dollar, and then you decide, oh, I do want to do the Mindful Dating Intensive, or I do want to take you up on that 1 year of coaching, every dollar that you spent on the Mid-Year Mindset Makeover, I will apply a credit towards a future coaching package, so long as you purchase by July 15th. So that's what I have for you tonight, folks. I would love to hear how this resonates. And I would also love to help be a part of having you experience the same kind of satisfaction and joy in your personal life that you're getting in your career. Take care. Bye.